Hey Stephanie, nice job. Yeah, I didn't read this as spacecraft. I read these actually as eyeballs at first, which is not that bad. Um, the shading is looking okay. What I would suggest is making sure the light is coming from the same direction on each one. So again, if you've got the light coming this way, um, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but it I don't know, you could just try it. And you know what I do is I tend to copy layers in Photoshop so I don't like ruin them or anything. So, and again, you might also want to try the radial gradient. Um, it's like the second or third one over. It's the one that doesn't, let me see, I'll show you. So if you click on the gradient tool, which is, here, it's, you can see that one's the straight across one. It's this second one. But again, you could try both of them. I mean, I'm just going to draw a circle and see what, and you probably already know if you hold down the shift key, it constrains it. I'm just going to make a real big one. I hope you're using layers so, you can just easily copy the layers and size them and stuff. So with that, I mean, it just really depends. I mean, that's not really a good one. That's terrible. So again, you kind of have to play with these to get them. Yeah, that's kind of more approaching. So anyway, you can just play with it. The idea is to kind of have the same, the same lighting on each side. So, and my only other suggestion, you probably can't hardly even see that, huh? So again, if you, you don't have to use black and white either. You can use, you can use something like a light gray too if you don't want it to be that, So again, you can kind of see it starting to come together a little bit that way. Oh, well, that's terrible. If you haven't already, if you look up here, the videos, way up here, the videos for Photoshop are actually really pretty good. And this one kind of goes into how to create the, more depth. And, it's kind of like what this one is here, with the balls and so on. So I would just, and again, you can see here too, the lighting is very similar, so it looks a little bit more, realistic. But again, if you're not trying to go for realism, it's not, it's not like a huge, it's not like a huge deal to have it all the same. I'm going to turn this off. The only other thing I would suggest is maybe figure out the negative space a little bit. And I don't mean to fill it up with a bunch of stuff. You could maybe just kind of push this one over here just a little bit. I mean, I really like the overlap here. What I would do is push it even more. I would make this one, I would make the foreground one really quite big, and then I'd make them smaller. But, just maybe have them kind of curl, if this one was just over here a little bit, it wouldn't have the feeling of this big piece of negative space. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, that's really my only suggestion, because I really think these already do have a sense of volume, and I think the size, the scale really works already to make it look like, there's depth. I mean, there's other ways you can create depth too with, with in the sky, but again, just really think about it. You can do some research as to what ways to create depth. Another thing you could do is make a really very, very subtle texture that you could barely see that could kind of mimic, stars or something like that. And again, I'm wondering if you looked at the perspective transformation tool. I think you probably did, because this looks like it's really pretty cool. Let me see. Whoops, that's way too big, huh? But again, starting to see the perspective here. It's just hard to see it because I know these are low-res images. But overall, I think it looks really good, and I think you understand the concepts. It's not, it's not always that easy to create them. And again, cast shadows if something's on a flat work good. But again, when you want it to be in space, So anyway, yeah, overall good job. I mean, it would be kind of cool if these really were eyes somehow, maybe just. Anyway, that's just me daydreaming. But okay, so yeah, nice job. Happy 4th.